Welcome to the Valleys Armenia Mission to Lebanon on KC24. Brought to you by Fashion Furniture, Ventura TV, and Fresno Suit Outlet. Here's Stephanie Barusian.
Hello and welcome. In late March, early April, a medical mission team from Fresno traveled to Lebanon, led by Fresno's honorary consul of Armenia, who took a small group there last year, but a much larger group this year. For 1 week, photojournalist Kevin Mahan and I documented their work. We saw the delivery of earthquake aid to the Syrian border, as well as the need for help throughout the country. It's a country of extreme beauty and hardship. This is Lebanon and the Mediterranean port city of Beirut, what was once considered to be the Switzerland of the Middle East. The views are breathtaking, to say the least. The population of nearly 5.5 million is a melting pot of faiths, 95% Muslim and Christian. But with no census since 1932, there is no official breakdown. Lebanon became home to thousands of Armenians after the 1915 Armenian genocide. In Beirut, there are still many signs of Armenian influence, although many left the country during the Lebanese Civil War from 1975 to 1990.
Yes, it's one of the most difficult countries for all the citizens living in Lebanon.
Politician Hago Pakraduni spoke to us about his country's need. The government is without a president, the banking system is collapsed, and half the population lives at or below the poverty level. A devastating bombing at the port of Beirut in 2020 sent the country in even more of a tailspin.
I always have the hope that we will be one of the best countries in the region, going back to our shiny days.
The visit by Fresno's medical mission team of doctors offers hope that the Lebanese people are not forgotten.
The people in this country are having a very difficult time being able to afford day-to-day living, let alone being able to take care of their health.
Their gift of time by local doctors offers something priceless, humanitarian help at a time when it's needed most. Shortly after their arrival in Lebanon, medical mission doctors got to work. They initially focused on a Beirut area that years ago was an Armenian neighborhood, but is now quite diverse. The 24-member medical mission team from Fresno hard at work providing free care to people of all ethnicities and faiths in Beirut. We're in the Barouj Hamoud sector of Beirut, which became a primarily Armenian neighborhood after the 1915 genocide. The Armenian Relief Cross, which is like the American Red Cross, established this clinic here in 1930, and it's been at this location for 35 years. The clinic director says 300 people of all ethnicities and faiths pass through here every day. The mission clinic with Fresno doctors is like a one-stop shop. There are internal medicine specialists here, pediatricians, dental specialists, even a urologist is available for a free visit or a consultation.
What a lovely day. He's a patient. He came in to care. He asked me what your name is. I said, Altabar Makni. Look, he says, I am so and so. We graduated together.
For Dr. Varujan Altabarmakian of Fresno, the visit is emotional. He grew up in Beirut and went to school here.
Seeing all these people, where I was part of it, a community that I lived there during my youth. So it was first emotional, and then it was exciting that I was taking part of providing care to these people that are in need.
There is tremendous need, Stephanie, here. People, they just need medical care, they need medications, and especially now with the current country situation.
The mission team is led by Fresno's honorary consul to Armenia. He says their 2-week stay helps the people of Beirut who are greatly struggling.
Giving them hope, telling them that they're not alone, and we're going to carry the challenge with them, lift their spirit, and spread the spirit of the United States in this region as well.
Coming up, we go to school. The sacred academy that offers educational and spiritual training for priests of the Armenian Apostolic Church, the beautiful place where it all takes place. And the delivery of earthquake relief from the KC24 telethon to the Syrian border, the dramatic and emotional moments.
You're watching the Valleys Armenia Mission to Lebanon on KC24. Brought to you by Fashion Furniture, Ventura TV, and Fresno Suit Outlet.
Fresno's medical mission to Lebanon included a visit to the Armenian church Catholicosate of Cilicia near Beirut. Mission members had an audience with His Holiness Aram I. The Catholicos welcomed the team and blessed their humanitarian work.
We had the opportunity to meet with him and seek his blessing. Okay, so I'm gratified in all aspects of it, and tomorrow I am assured with his blessings that our mission starts on the strong footing with success.
Therefore, with these thoughts in mind and with this firm expectation, once again I welcome you. May God bless you, your good work.
His Holiness Aram I was consecrated Catholicos in 1995, but he began his spiritual education at the Armenian Theological Seminary in Antilius, Lebanon. We had the unique opportunity to visit the school for future priests. The view is hazy but spectacular. Antilius, Lebanon, overlooking Beirut, is a sacred place. It's home to the Cathedral of the Holy See Cilicia and its theological seminary, a spiritual academy for future leaders of the Armenian Apostolic Church. Established in 1930, this boarding school for boys as young as 12 teaches the basics in education like science, math, and history. But the 8-year program offers so much more.
To preserve the continuation of the church, because our clergy, celibate and married priests, need to go through religious education and a spiritual discipline.
Very Reverend Father Barur Shernezian attended the seminary as a youth and was ordained a celibate priest. At 23, he served as a parish pastor in San Francisco and is now back in Lebanon as seminary dean. While not all seminarians will choose to become a priest, Father Barur says they learn to serve.
So our students, when they graduate, they can go even teach in the schools, teach in the communities, so we can have, our culture and tradition still alive in 21st century.
The seminary, funded by donations, can accommodate up to 60 students who attend at no cost. While their primary focus is on their academic and theological educations, they also work in the gardens and vineyard of this beautiful place. The Catholicos of the Armenian Apostolic Church, Aram I, wanted the history of the Armenian people depicted in monuments, so this area was established on the seminary grounds in 2013. At the highest point is a meaningful tribute to survivors of the Armenian genocide.
Our hope, our faith comes from heaven, and our God will help us to rebuild our nation, regain our rights, and and free our lands that are occupied now.
Remembering the past and focusing on the future with blessings from above. One of these young men may someday serve a parish in the Central Valley after completing their schooling at this beautiful and holy place overlooking Beirut, Lebanon. In the Lebanese city of Byblos, we paid a visit to what's called the Bird's Nest. First established by the Near East Relief Organization in 1918 as an orphanage for the youngest survivors of the Armenian genocide. It served generations of children. In 1967, the Catholicosate of Cilicia became the keeper of the Bird's Nest. It's no longer an orphanage, but a place to house vulnerable children in need of a stable home. We got a tour of the Bird's Nest from its director, Very Reverend Father Dajad Ashekian. Father Dajad has a connection to the valley as he previously served as parish pastor of the Holy Trinity Church in Fresno. And still to come, the medical mission reaches out to young school kids who get a fun lesson in dental hygiene from a young dentist in training.
You're watching The Valley's Armenia, Mission to Lebanon on KC24. Brought to you by Fashion Furniture, Ventura TV, and Fresno Suit Outlet.
The medical mission team is like a family. Many have been serving together in Armenia and now Lebanon for years. But for one couple and their daughter, this trip was truly a family affair. For Dr. Vache Vasilian of Clovis, his wife, pediatrician Dr. Garane Lepedjian, and their daughter Vana, the connection to Lebanon runs deep. While Fresno in the valley is now home, their roots are here, specifically in what was the predominantly Armenian sector of Beirut called Burj Hamud.
What I saw when I lived in the Armenian quarter of Burj Hamud, over there, I learned how to serve the people, how during the war, they used to come to knock on our house, giving bread, giving medication, when I was 12, 13 years old.
Dr. Vasilian says the help his family received during the 15-year Lebanese civil war taught him the importance of giving back. It's a lesson he and his wife are proud to display for their daughter, who was born in Beirut and moved to the U.S. at age 8 and is now in her second year of dental school at UCLA.
It's serving. We like with all humbleness, like this is the least we can do to our country, to our people.
One of my patients, she came and prayed for us, and she blessed us. So I'm like, we're here to help them, but I feel like they're helping me.
Doctors Vasilian and Lepedjian have been serving on medical missions to Armenia and now Lebanon for 10 years. They, like other team members, leave their practices in the valley for 2 weeks, providing free care to anyone who needs it.
I have heard them come home and they've talked to me about what they do, but I think coming and actually being here is a completely different feeling, just because the environment and seeing everything, seeing what both my parents do.
Their humanitarian spirit on display for their daughter, a future dentist, who's shadowing her parents on a medical mission for the first time. And who knows, one day she may serve her home country as a doctor of dentistry. Vana also served the neighborhood that was once her home at an elementary school. She taught the young students about good dental hygiene. Take a look.
And another thing that really touched my heart is I know here they don't have a lot. They're barely living, and some of the kids, when I was giving them toothbrushes, I heard them saying, oh, I don't need it. I have one at home, and they wanted to give it to their friends. And that made me I was like, wow, even with how little they have, they still have in their hearts, they want to give to other people, and they don't even think about themselves, which is so special.
Included on the mission team, a number of physiotherapists, some from the Valley, some from elsewhere in the U.S. They worked with staff physical therapists at the American University of Beirut Hospital. They saw patients, but also taught classes on new dry needling techniques with proven evidence-based results.
All the therapists here have been very eager to learn, and then we're able to take what we've learned and then immediately incorporate it into patients. And then they see those outcomes almost immediately. And so that is just further fire saying, hey, what we're doing actually works.
When we come back, an exciting and emotional delivery at the Lebanese-Syrian border. Medical supplies and cash collected in the KC-24 Earthquake Relief Telethon handed over by the medical mission team. But first, no lanes, no traffic stops. The rules of the road are different on Lebanese streets.
You're watching The Valley's Armenia Mission to Lebanon on KC-24. Brought to you by Fashion Furniture, Ventura TV, and Fresno Suit Outlet.
Thousands of dollars in donations from the Valley are now in the country of Syria. These are pictures of 6 suitcases full of medical supplies now in Aleppo, Syria, to help victims of February's devastating earthquake. Also delivered thousands of dollars in cash donated by KC-24 viewers and supporters during the KC-24 Earthquake Relief Telethon. The Armenian Relief Society and the Prelacy in Aleppo, Syria, now thanking and blessing the medical mission and donors. They say it will be used on people who are now hurting, and they plan to do a full accounting of how each item is used and each dollar is spent.
We are here to support them and to restore their lives again.
When the plea for help was made, the Central Valley responded. More than $36,000 donated in the KC24 telethon to help survivors of February's devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria. And on this day, the aid is delivered. We're in Anjar in the Bekaa Valley region of Lebanon near the Syrian border. It's an agricultural area much like the Central Valley. After the 1915 Armenian genocide, many Armenians fled the country and came here. And to this day, the population of 2,400 is predominantly Armenian. While the medical mission doctors from Fresno meet patients at a local clinic, a delegation from Aleppo, Syria makes a 7-hour drive to this tightly guarded border crossing on a very cold and windy day to receive the valley's gifts.
And this is the fund that came from our hearts, Sheikh Zanai, and we want to hand it to you. Be sure that we will
a delicate transfer with only the suitcases full of medical supplies and the cash donations crossing the border into Syria, with assurances every cent of the relief will go to people in need.
We many thanks for them, for their prayers, for their goodwill, and for the gesture that you've done for us.
But I want you to know that our community just in one day opened its heart so big for the people in your country, and they're very touched and concerned, and they wanted to help. So
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The transfer now on its way.
We did it.
You did it.
We did it. We got the blessing of His Eminence. I mean, that's wonderful. Thank you, God. Thank you for all of your blessings.
Fueled by the valley's generosity, impacting lives thousands of miles away. When we come back, another life-changing gift from Fresno's medical mission.
1, 2, 3. Pull it. Congratulations.
A significant donation from the medical mission team and a generous Fresno woman will help keep the lights on at a Beirut medical clinic. How the valley's generosity is impacting lives.
You're watching The Valley's Armenia, Mission to Lebanon on KC24. Brought to you by Fashion Furniture, Ventura TV, and Fresno Suit Outlet.
When the Fresno Medical Mission team worked in Lebanon last year, the mission leader saw a need that was fulfilled this year, a necessary project that took months and thousands of dollars to complete. It's a part of daily life in Lebanon, sudden darkness. Government-supplied electricity is available for only 1 to 3 hours a day. Those who can afford it get a generator. But on this day, at the Armenian Relief Cross Clinic in Beirut, Dr. Van Bogosian of Fresno's medical mission team had to use a battery-powered light to get the job done.
We'll make it work. We deal with whatever we get.
Power outages are among the many challenges here. The economy is in crisis. The currency has lost much of its value, and people struggle to buy food and basic necessities. Even government leaders acknowledge something needs to be done.
It's really highly needed because, as you know, and all over the world, not all the Armenians, the international community knows that in what devastating situation the Lebanese people living.
But a generous gift from Fresno is offering hope and shining a new light at this clinic.
1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Let's see this thing.
Let's see it.
A $50,000 gift from the Advance Armenia Foundation provided funding for solar panels and a generator to keep the lights on from now on. The project earmarked during a visit last year by the medical mission team led by Fresno's honorary consul of Armenia, Berzhap Karian.
This center takes care of everybody without any hesitation. And we are delighted that such project became a reality.
The gift paid in part by a donation from the late Clara Margosian of Fresno, who passed away in February. 3 years ago, Clara donated $1 million to build apartments in the country of Armenia, and she left even more of a legacy in her wake.
I think her vision was very great because today, if you ask any Lebanese people in this time, they say the most important aspect of our life is the cost of energy and the cost of gas. If we can eliminate those, we will survive.
Among those attending the ribbon cutting, U.S. Ambassador to Lebanon, Dorothy Shea.
So to have a generator and solar panels to make a community health clinic accessible to everybody who needs it without regards to what community they belong to, that is what American values stand for.
Going solar at this clinic will save the staff thousands of dollars in electricity costs. But more importantly, it keeps the lights on, so life-saving work can continue in a country that's struggling. We now welcome Berj Abkarian, Fresno's honorary consul of Armenia. The nonprofit Advance Armenia Foundation earmarked and funded the solar project and really the whole medical mission. Berj, your thoughts now that this second mission in Lebanon is done?
We miss Lebanon already, and communication continues with gratitude and appreciation to our community and for their unbelievable effort during the short period of time. But as you know, it's not only for 2 weeks. Our efforts continues throughout the year in supporting them and making sure that they know that we're standing by them and with them at all times to make sure that they're supported.
Are you happy with what was accomplished in that brief 2-week period?
I believe so. Not only me, the entire medical mission team members, I get communication on an almost daily basis. They say we miss Lebanon and we miss their hospitality and their smiling faces as we were greeted with hospitality and warmth.
I know installing that solar project was a huge accomplishment for the mission, as well as, of course, the daily clinics where the people that live there were treated. But I'm confident that you have something earmarked for next year. What are your plans as you look ahead? You'll be back to Lebanon, I'm sure.
We will be back for sure.
Yes.
And I made a promise to His Holiness Catholicos Arm I that we will return much more targeted, much more organized in reaching out and making a difference. That's what our mission is all about, not just only providing care. As you know, during the past mission, we completed a symposium, and we did capital projects alongside with providing medical care and medication and supplies.
Well, we look forward to what lies ahead for the mission. I know you're planning a trip back to Armenia as well in the fall.
Yes, September. We will be doing a major medical conference alongside with medical mission itself.
All right, well, Berj, thank you so much for including us on this mission trip, and thank you for joining us for the Valleys Armenia, the mission to Lebanon. Have a great night.